Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you, as always, for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Hope your week is rolling right along, and we are here to answer your listener questions. Ricky and Scott join me as we have some fun talking about all the halfway to Halloween announcements, including all the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween information. The parties are here starting August 9th. So get ready to sweat out those early parties going through October 31st. We give you the 411 on that. And we talk about also a cool experience coming to the Disney Treasure, brought to you by Raleigh Crump. Back in the day, it's going to be awesome. So we give lots of thoughts on Halloween here this week. And we help a guest who's going to only get to spend one day at Epcot prior to a cruise. She's looking for some quick service recommendations. So we talk about that. And we have a great story from a guest who had another guest make magic for her son at Oga's Cantina at Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios. You will not believe it. I couldn't believe it. Francesca shared a story with us, and it's truly real Disney magic come to life. So stick around for that as well. Don't forget, our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We would love to help you plan an amazing Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney vacation. Best part, no additional cost to you. And you get lots of good little booking bonuses as well with many packages. So come on over this week. TheMagicForLess.com is the website. Fill out the quote form. We'll take it from there. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That really does support us the easiest way possible. Just click through beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. You can support us just $5 a month. It really does help us out. It helps pay for the video support, the bandwidth, the hosting, all that stuff. And as a thank you, when you support us for $5 a month, you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. We'd love to have you come on over. And thanks to those who do, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2483 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week, and thank you so much for joining us here for more of your listener questions, as we've been doing since 2008 here on the Be Our Guest Podcast. That's right. We are inching up to 25. Well, actually, we're over 2,500 episodes because we didn't count a bunch of them back in the day when we did those live shows. But you know what? Episode 2,500 is sneaking right up on us. And we're going to have a good time getting there by talking some Disney with you here in the midweek. And today, my pals are joining me. And first of all, we have Ricky. She is from themouseforless.com and a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com and just got her internet and power back just in time for tonight's show. I mean, we are happy about that because who messes with all that stuff on podcast day? Ricky, what's going on?
Right? Yeah, I came home for lunch and I usually take the dog out for a walk. So I put my food in the microwave and I'm taking Daisy out for a walk, and I get back in the house and I'm looking at the TV and I'm like, I thought I turned it on before I left. And so I'm like, huh. And then I looked at my clock on my, stove, and I'm like, oh, I don't have power. Cool. And then I realized that my lunch was only halfway cooked. So I had to improvise and ended up just making peanut butter and jelly, which is not what I wanted.
Peanut butter and jelly, though, it's solid.
It was good.
Days.
No, it was definitely solid.
Don't
and
sleep
I was glad I had bread I was glad I went to the grocery store and bought bread yesterday. Thank goodness, because normally I don't have bread. But yeah, I really wanted my leftover Carrabba's. So that was a little bit of a downgrade when you compare, peanut butter and jelly to Carrabba's. So, yeah, I'm just gonna put the Carrabba's back in the fridge and was like, even though I heated it, it'll be fine.
Wait, hey, real quick though.
Partially, so.
Okay, real quick though, is Carrabba's? I don't know Carrabba's. Is that Italian? It sounds Italian.
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Was it pasta?
It's a chain. It's a nationwide chain.
Was it pasta?
Yeah, it was pasta.
You could totally eat pasta cold, especially kind of warm.
Not this pasta. This pasta had shrimp and scallops in it. I ain't eating that cold, so.
In a pinch, I mean, pretend like you're on Survivor.
No,
Just
not
chuck it
even
down.
close. Not eating that cold. No.
I don't know.
So
Depends how
anyway, that went back in the fridge, and thankfully, like I was literally checking the updates on my power and Spectrum, and I'm like, do I have power yet? Do I have internet yet? No. Oh no. And at first they said I wouldn't have power until 7:45. I'm like, uh-oh, Mike. And then I literally, after I texted you that, got the response of, you have power. I was like, oh, thank God.
Just like the old days of AOL. You have
know, right?
power.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, back in my college days, I ate everything cold in the morning. But let's go.
Not shrimp and scallops. I'm not eating that cold. No.
I just didn't think about it. All right. Also joining us today, he is here from up in East Lansing, Michigan, our newest vlogger. He is Mr. Starbucks Mug. We have Scotty G. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Ricky. So, Carrabba's is my favorite, chain Italian spot.
It is my favorite chain Italian spot too. Yes.
And it's funny. I've written it. It's funny when you look at old memories, like Time Hop and Facebook memories and all that. There's one that comes up every year where it says, "I've written off Carrabba's. This is the final straw." And every time I read it, I'm so embarrassed that I ever put that out there. But 'cause our Carrabba's did have a little shaky little time, but it's turned back around. It's actually really good when you consider it's a chain. I think it's really good.
I agree with that. Yeah, it's a really good chain, and I'm really hard on Italian food, especially chain restaurants. So I'm glad Carrabba's is actually pretty decent.
It's solid.
Yeah.
But hey, happy to answer some listener questions today. Mike, I want to give a shout out to a listener.
You better.
They're actually in the chat right now, so it's perfect timing. But I want to give a shout out to Corey, listener up in Georgia. He sent me a nice little package from a golf course in Georgia, so really appreciate that. I haven't opened it up yet, but Mike, he reached out to me and he said something really nice that I thought the two of you would really like to hear. That he's been listening to the show for about 7 years, and that we bring so much positivity and joy into his life. That just made my heart feel so good. And I just told him that's what we do here. We just try to bring the positivity. We love life. We love talking Disney. We love talking Carrabba's and other things too, but
and internet and power. Yeah.
I just thought that was really kind words, and I appreciate him paying it forward back to me, with a nice little package. But that's what it's all about. We're just here to be positive and talk about our favorite thing, Walt Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
That comment is just like a smooth swing at Amen Corner.
Exactly.
My goodness.
Love it.
All right. We appreciate that, Corey. Thank you so much. That's what we do. We just have a good time, and we're the ones that are blessed. We love getting to talk Disney with our friends, and that's what we do here every week. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for that. So let's get to the questions. Sydney has a question here. Hey, Mike and BOGP crew. I love your show. I've been listening for 3 or 4 years now. Your show gets me through between each Disney visit. My husband and I are going on a Carnival cruise for our 10-year anniversary. So we've been talking about all different cruise lines. There's another one. The day before we leave, we're doing one day at Epcot. We've never taken a Disney trip, just the two of us. I'm not going to sing, even though I want to.
Thank goodness. Nope.
Okay, I won't.
It is almost Yacht Rock season. We're getting
Oh, no.
Just the two.
Oh, dang it.
All right. Who's that? It's Grover Washington, right?
Yeah.
Grover?
No, I just think of Will Smith, but that's fine.
See, look at you, kid. And it's going to be May, but it is already.
Is May.
I know,
yeah.
Too late. And we're so excited for our short but exciting visit. I have 2 questions regarding our one day at Epcot. We're planning to do the virtual queue for Guardians and individual lightning lane for Remy's. Would you suggest going for the virtual queue first or reserving the individual lightning lane first? She has a second question. So they're planning to do the virtual queue for Guardians and individual lightning lane for Remy's. Which would you do first?
Virtual queue.
Okay.
I think.
You think both?
Yeah.
Got a thumbs up? Okay.
That's a thumbs up from me.
All right. Do that. And second, I like this one here. Which quick service dining places do you recommend the most in Epcot? We're regulars to the fish and chips. Good call. And usually do an ADR, but we're not at this time. Are there any food booths at Flower and Garden that you would suggest? Thanks, Sydney. So food booths or quick service?
This trip must be coming up quick.
It doesn't say when, but yes. I mean, it just came in yesterday, so it's current.
Yeah, so Yeah, I'm kind of like how Sydney normally does. I like having the ADR for dinner normally, but you know what? You're about to be on a cruise. You're gonna be eating all the food. Why not just do a little counter service right at Epcot? Surprising pick for me. I thought I would never say this like when this restaurant opened, but I like Connections a lot.
Same.
It's good.
Dude, I love the pizza there. It's
The pizza's solid.
yeah. I'm a pizza snob, and I always wrote off like, oh, I'm not gonna get some pizza at Connections, and actually it's like I like it more than the Viennapoli slice. I think a little bit. Like I think it's really good. So I would go with Connections as my spot to have dinner.
When you see that pizza come out at Connections, it makes you regret if you ordered anything else. It's something about, I mean, I've never ordered it because I always get there's like a General Tso's chicken salad or something that I love. I love that thing. That thing rocks too. Connections, you're right. It has really good food because I cannot stop getting that General Tso's chicken salad, which I love so much. It's so good. And you always have to end it with the, what's that? The Liege waffle, it's called. That thing is yeah. It's like eating a cloud. It's so light. It's just so tasty. But yeah, but that pizza looks so dang good. And you say it's awesome. I haven't ever eaten it, but man, when I see it every time, I'm like, it looks like the best pizza I've ever seen. So
it's good. It's really good. So highly recommend that for sure.
Jody's saying the booth, the Honey Bistro cauliflower. Now,
Dude, the honey cauliflower is so good.
I'm passing on anything that's got cauliflower in the title, but you do you. I'm just saying.
That whole booth was good. They had like a honey, I think they had like a honey chicken and waffle maybe there too, I want to say. Like, oh man, it was so good.
Emily's offering up quick service in China is solid and barely a line. I always have to say Mexico. I love Mexico. I love the cantina. The cantina. I mean, it's not bad.
So Brian and I, we never really go into the festivals with like a game plan on the food that we end up getting. What we do is we usually go to the booths and see what we're in the mood for when we're there. We used to do game plans, and then like literally you'd get there and you'd be like, yeah, no, I'm not in the mood for this now. Let me try something else. This looks better. So that's really kind of what we started doing instead. And we find that works out really well for us, just kind of going booth by booth and saying, hey, are we in the mood to kind of split this, to enjoy this and go this route? I have heard I've had it before, but I haven't had it this year, but I know the corn, I don't remember which booth it's at, but I know the corn is excellent. Like it's so good. So I would say definitely get the corn, whether or not you're going to dine just at Food and Wine Festival or Flower and Garden Festival booths or not. Just make sure you get the corn. And then I'm always a fan of the frushi, which is always really good too. It's a solid choice. They always have it. Scott's got a picture of him with, I'm guessing, the corn.
Dude,
okay, good.
I have a warning with the corn though, because it's buttery. I got the corn one time, dude. I had the butter all down my shorts. I didn't even realize it, man. It was a wreck. So be careful with the butter.
Honestly, people are saying, and I know that the corn at Animal Kingdom they used to have was really good. They changed it, and it's not the same corn. Dude, if they brought this corn over to Disney's Animal Kingdom, I think people would lose their minds. So
it was super good. It was worth almost losing my shorts over. It was
I'm
nuts.
gonna say the corn. So yeah, just go get that.
And a quick couple of festival favorites, because I don't think I talked about this on the trip report. The honey cauliflower for sure. The tamale in Mexico, that's like a usual one though. That seems to always be there. That is so solid. I think this flatbread was new in the Morocco Pavilion. This Mediterranean flatbread. It was like the freshest thing I've had in a long time. Yeah. Dude, it was so good. And then for you, Mike, too, they have a cool soft serve section, kind of like on the way towards Canada. Yes. They had PB&J soft serve.
Oh my God.
Dude, it was legit, like really great. Like the sound of it like sounded kind of weird.
It was bring
fantastic.
It on. Oh my God. So my heart. Okay, I'm buying a plane ticket.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go right now.
Wait,
Ricky can do the rest of the show.
It'll be over by the time I go down for our cruise. Dang it! I might look on eBay for that machine. Maybe they won't need it after the festival. All right, next question says Space 220 Lounge versus restaurant. Hey, BOGP crew, we're headed to Epcot for my daughter's 21st birthday. Thanks for the help, Mike. Thank you, Daniel. And we'd like to hit up Space 220 for some drinks. We would like to visit the lounge for these drinks, but if we have issues getting a reservation there, we are able to get one. Are we able to get one at the restaurant? Can we just order drinks on the restaurant side, or are we required to order food as well? Daniel, and he says, almost forgot MIZ and go Cards. The Cards need everything and
Got it.
a manager to start. But
Got
I'm
it.
not going there because this is not a Cardinals podcast and it would get long. What about, okay, because tell us about ordering food, drinks.
I just have had experience with this, obviously, very
Rock on.
recently. So, you are going to want to go to the bar. You will not be able to just get drinks if you go to the restaurant. It is a prefix meal. So, at the restaurant, you will have to get, if it's lunch, either an appetizer and entree, or if it's dinner, an appetizer, entree, and dessert. So if you're looking to just get drinks there, then yeah, you definitely are going to want to go to the bar only. The lounge, the problem is, of course, the lounge fills up very quickly. So you're going to want to go as soon as you possibly can, or either if that doesn't work out, maybe a little bit later in the day to see if there's availability, because it does fill up very quickly. So if that's what you really want to do, then make sure you do it ASAP, because the lounge definitely fills up quick. But you're not going to want to do the restaurant unless you want the prefix meal. And after my last meal there, I'm not going to suggest you do that. So that's kind of my take on that.
Good tip. Make sure eating is you're drinking, especially on the 21st birthday party.
Definitely.
Just saying. Okay, Amanda's got a question. Hello, BOGP crew. I sent another question a few days ago, but this one is more urgent, so I skipped ahead to this one. I have secured a Phantasmic dining reservation for our party of 6 for lunch at Hollywood and Vine on our Hollywood Studios Day, but I have a couple of questions. Our reservation is for the first show. Any idea what time the first show starts? Isn't it usually around, because the second show is 10:30, so it's usually around 8:30, isn't it, ish? Because the last show is 10:30. 8 o'clock maybe ish. Okay, I'll go to the second part.
Yeah.
Also, if we book the last lunch seating available, will we get less character interaction as they transition to dinner service? And do they clear out the restaurant between lunch and dinner service? We have eaten at Goofy's Kitchen at Disneyland many times in the past and have found if you're there at the end of brunch, the character interaction isn't as good, and we want to try to avoid that. We would prefer the later lunch seating, but we don't want our character interaction to suffer. Thank you for all the advice, tips, and tricks over the years. It's made me feel more competent as we plan our first Walt Disney World and cruise line vacation. Sincerely, Amanda, who is 23 miles from Disneyland, but 2,483 miles from Walt Disney World. What do we got?
I got 8:30 when I did it in March. Was the first show when we did the dining package. And then what I want to say, they turn that around and then they do the second show like a little bit after that. So I'm confident, unless, I mean, it could depend on the time of year, but I have 8:30 for when we did ours.
Yeah, that's right. It's usually around 8 or 8:30, and the second show is usually after park closing, like 10:30-ish.
Yeah, that's
actually my favorite show. I think I gave that as a hot take on my trip report. Like, we did both, and I honestly prefer the second show, but I love the dinner package too, so don't get me wrong there. It's just going to be a crowded theater is all when you go to that first show.
What about our second questions, though, about the character interaction with the being at the very end of a lunch service?
So I'm going to say you're fine, because the breakfast is the one that has a different character experience. So the breakfast, it's the Disney Junior characters, but lunch and dinner are both going to be the mini Hollywood Dine character experience. So it says here that lunch lasts until 3:55 and dinner starts at 4. So I'm going to say there's really going to be no difference. The characters will still be making the rounds, so you should be fine.
So there's no hard shutdown. It just, they change.
There's no
they just
hard
start changing
shutdown
out
in
the
between.
food.
No, it's literally a 5-minute break, and that's probably just to reset some stuff.
Yeah, because I don't even think the menu changes.
No, it doesn't. I don't think the price changes either. So I'm gonna say it's
So
just
the price
probably
probably does. Probably goes up $10 or something.
I think
Really?
it's the same price all lunch and dinner now for most character meals. So yeah, the only time where you'd have maybe an issue is breakfast, because at breakfast that ends at 10:30 and then lunch doesn't start until 11:30. But I think you're gonna be fine with dinner. It's literally a 5-minute switch, and I don't think that they're gonna switch the characters or have less characters because you're dining at a later time. So
Good deal. So real quick though, we mentioned we'd kind of talk halfway to Halloween here for a second. So let's don't talk about all the announcements because there were quite a few. We have some for Halloween on the high seas with Cruise Line. They announced this really cool like aquarium thing that Raleigh Crump developed a long time ago that's coming to the Haunted Mansion themed bar on the Treasure. That thing I was kind of most excited about. That thing looks really cool.
yeah,
Who knows what it'll look like in person, but the concept art looked really cool. So check out our Discord again, beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. It's in the channel with Disney Cruise Line. But what announcements did you see maybe? Because they kind of talked, there was merch announcements, there were pricing, there were the first dates. There was all kinds of stuff that came out back on Monday. Anything jumped out, Ricky, for you with the announcements halfway to Halloween? Costumes? Anything? You
yeah.
saw?
I mean, first of all, the fact that we finally got dates for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I think that's the biggest thing everybody has been waiting for. So the event will kick off on August 9th and it will take place through October 31st. So starting really early with the August dates. If you are going in August, just know it's going to be hot.
Yep.
So dress accordingly with your costumes. Don't put on that ridiculously heavy Mike Roman costume.
Dude, I
where
look
you
good
almost
though. I was
died.
Captain EO with a big ol' afro, but it was awesome.
You looked great.
I almost died
but
that night.
You almost
Yes.
died. So don't do that. And then they are not going past Halloween this year. So that's another change kind of.
That's how
from
it should
last year.
be. Thank you.
Last year they went
Give
past
Christmas its due.
November.
Thank you.
So that's something to keep in mind. Tickets are on sale for Walt Disney World Resort guests starting today, May 8th. And then they go on sale to the general public on May 15th. The one thing that I find to be interesting, the characters are going to have some new costumes. There's going to be Disney villains more at the party this year, which is a really good idea, I feel like. But also, they're going to move up the time for the Mickey's Boo to You Halloween Parade.
I like this. That's
Which
family
is a
friendly.
great idea.
Family friendly. Yes.
Yes, I agree with this. I think before it was it started at like 9 or 9:30, and now it's like 8 or 8:30. So I think it's 8:30. So that's a huge change now, which is fantastic. It also allows the fireworks to be moved up about 15 minutes too. So they're just bumping everything up, which I think is a really, really, really good idea for the Halloween party this year. And of course, things are returning, like the Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular Fireworks Show, of course, the Boo to You Halloween Parade, the Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular, and then some other stuff that's also returning. But, it's really great to see that the dates have been announced because everybody was losing their minds. Oh no, they're not going to have Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party this year. No, it just took them some time. So yeah, that's the biggest news I think that came out from, this week with the Halloween stuff. But you were right. That the concept art for that aquarium is really cool. So for those who don't know, the Haunted Mansion parlor is going to be on the Disney Treasure, and Raleigh Crump was a famous Imagineer, and he kind of designed these things for a museum of the weird, which is what the Haunted Mansion was originally kind of constructed to be. And, he had some really creative, off the wall, just ridiculously awesome looking artwork. And so you can actually see what the aquarium looks like that he designed on my site on the article that I have. But it's so weird, but there's something called ghost fish that are going to be part of this, and it's going to be a part of the story. The story is actually going to take one of those famed pieces of the Haunted Mansion that's kind of mentioned a little bit, especially outside of the attraction, but not really on the inside. And it was one of the concepts that they had for the inside of the attraction originally, which is about a boat captain. That works out really well for, a ship, a Disney Cruise Line ship, right? So it's like, hey, genius idea. Let's take this boat captain storyline and incorporate it into the ship's, the Haunted Mansion parlor. And it sounds like it's a really, again, a very interesting storyline that they have going on here. Again, I have that on my website, but it looks, I gotta say, the concept art for this aquarium looks really cool, and I'll be interested to see how they make ghost fish. So
That looked really cool. The color scheme, I mean, just everything. It looked, because again, it's a nautical tie to the Haunted Mansion. They did a good job,
Oh,
and they brought
perfect.
classic Raleigh Crump Imagineer, good touch. So, Scott, real quick, what did you see that you all afternoon as it was announced on Monday? We had conversations with lots of our listeners about cost. I mean, there was a lot of talk about, if you have a family of 4, you really got to make choices because you're talking with tax. You might be, if you're going in October, you're talking, you could get close to almost 4 digits to take your family to one night at the Halloween party.
Yeah, for sure. I actually did want to talk about the cost, but I do like the new costumes. Mickey and Minnie's costumes
They're
are
pretty
really
sweet.
cute.
Yeah.
I got a big Haunted Mansion vibe when I was looking at those, so really like those. But yeah, so one thing about the cost, this is just how my brain works sometimes. So I was reading about the Buddha U parade going up a little, like an earlier time, which I thought was kind of interesting. And like part of in the blog post was like, those families with those little ones want to catch that parade early and then, call it a night. And I'm just thinking,
Right.
like, man, those families are going to be spending like $800 to $1,000 to go to this party and just to leave early because it's
Just
I mean,
to see the parade and the fireworks and then go peace out, see you later. No, that's
which
a lot of money.
I know happens. I mean, the
Yeah.
little
Because
ones get
why
tired.
keep them
And, like,
there if they're
it's
going to be
probably from-
crying? Exactly. And they're cranky. I mean,
Yeah.
it defeats the purpose.
And it's probably from survey feedback. I'm guessing they probably heard some
Probably,
feedback like, "Hey, like my kid was cranky, he had to stay late for this,
Yep.
whatever." So they bring it
So
up.
they-
I'm just thinking, like, man, the cost of that though, just to go to the party for like a couple hours, just like blows my mind a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's pricey. I mean, there's no
It
doubt
is.
about it. And I'm interested in this because I want to go to the Christmas party this year if it works out with my
Yeah.
dates. And I'm like, that pricing is usually on par with this,
Mhm.
and it's getting tough even for a family of 3. Like we're gonna drop $600 to go to a party for a few hours, but I will say there is some good value there though. It's so entertaining. You get a great fireworks show, you get a great parade. It's just that atmosphere at night is so much fun. So if you've never done it, you absolutely got to do it. Or if it's been a couple of years, even if you go like once, I mean, if you just go once a year, I mean, I think that's fine too. You just got to save some pennies for it though. So
I think we came up to in the Discord, and this is why I love it, because basically we're having live chat going on all afternoon. Is I was actually walking on the treadmill and doing it on my iPad as everybody was talking, but it's allocation of vacation funds. And so, we were talking with Mohawk over in Scotland and a few other, Catherine was in there, you were in there, a few other people were in there. And we're kind of talking about, especially when you have a family, 3, 4, 5 people, you might have to say, okay, do we want to do the party? That's fine, because we really enjoy the vibe. Like, we're Halloween people and we want to see that Booty U parade. We want to see the fireworks. We want to trick or treat. We want to make our costumes at home and really make it about that. And that's totally cool. But, instead of going to Chef Mickey's and instead of doing, maybe going to Crystal Palace, we'll forego those two character meals and do the Halloween party. And that offsets that cost. So a lot of times it's not about, Disney, I think, is about these additional experiences where I think a lot of guests at this point with these costs are saying it's not really additional, but it's more of like just shuffling around the vacation budget. Do you think that's what a lot of that's what I would do as the head of my household, right? It's about reallocation of funds.
I think that's what you have to do. You might have to even reallocate some funds at home, even,
right?
Like maybe
pre-trip.
Maybe we go out to dinner on Friday nights. Maybe we cut back a couple Friday nights just to think about the future and all the fun we're gonna have at that Halloween party at Magic Kingdom. So you're absolutely right. Like that's how you got to do it, because you plan for a vacation, you have an X dollar amount in your mind, and then if the Halloween party is going to take 20% or whatever that number is, like, yeah, then you got to reallocate, and everyone can make it work, right? And it's going to be fun when it's all said and done. You're going to have a blast at the party when you decide to go. It's just, and I don't think the number of dates have changed either. As another thing, I just want to say, it's amazing how many days there are of the party.
Yes,
and it just hurts. It just hurts Magic Kingdom during that whole time, because like, there's 3 nights where everyone's going to want to go to the Magic Kingdom at night because that's the only night they can go, because they're not going to pay for the party. It just makes it so crowded. It's just always challenging to handle all that those couple months.
I think in October, I think it's actually 4 nights a week. As you get closer and closer to Halloween, so that makes it even more challenging. And you're correct. They only got rid of 2 dates for this year, because I when I was updating the Mouse for Less for their website stuff, I was looking at all the dates, and the dates that actually ended up not being included were the November dates, which makes sense. So they did get rid of 2 dates this year, but I think it is starting a little earlier. But I think that just is by where the calendar is, not that they were adding an extra date. So I think there's 2 less dates this year, but still, that yeah, for a family, it's certainly pricey.
So what do you do? What do you do, Mike, in that case? So like, I'm going to go to Magic Kingdom on a party day and I have a hopper, so I'm going to hop somewhere else that night. But if you're not buying a ticket, you want to close down Magic Kingdom. You want to see fireworks some night, right? So like, you're just going to have to bite the bullet and face the crowds one of those nights, right?
Yeah, I mean, as an annual pass holder, right? I rope drop on a day where they have a party, and I take advantage of it because most people are not going that day. And I'm like, yes, this is working to my advantage, especially that morning, because most people aren't going to use a day there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I just grin and bear it in the evening and just fight the crowds. And because then I'm there just to do things like that. That's where I do mass capacity attractions with the crowds. I do People Mover, I do Carousel Progress, and I watch the fireworks. You know what I'm saying? Because crowds don't necessarily affect those kind of experiences. You know, like crowds can actually make those kind of things better. Like I like a busy park at some point. You know, it gives it energy.
Every night the firework crowd is always busy anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's like in February or in the peak Halloween season. Like it's going to be busy, you know.
Right.
So.
All right, we got a couple questions here real quick. I'm just summarizing Chad's because it's a little bit long, and he's in here from OKC, and I got to say, careful to everybody. We're thinking of you down in the tornado alley because I know this week is going to be rough with severe weather. A lot of big storms rolling through all week, so stay safe down in Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, everywhere in the Midwest. Stay safe with all the rough weather. But Ricky, he's asking, when do the tickets go on sale? As this comes out, that is the day for resort guests. But if you're downloading it on Tuesday night, like a lot of folks do, as this comes out at 9:00 Eastern, what do you know what time the tickets go on sale?
I don't 100% know. It's probably that 6-7 o'clock in the morning time frame though. Is it 7, Mike?
Wow.
Is that right?
I don't get them.
I would guess 7 Eastern time.
I would say 7 Eastern time.
Yep.
Yeah. So, that's what you want to look for. And I know that he's worried about the fact that the tickets will sell out because he wants to go to a party night that's closer to Halloween. I haven't, at least in a few years past, they haven't sold out like immediately, like a Run Disney event, which is what he was kind of equating it to. They don't sell out that quickly. Usually you've got some time. So just keep that in mind. Like you don't have to be on it at 7 a.m. necessarily to get, your tickets. You're going to be okay if, you're an hour or two later or even a day or two or whatever. For the most part, even that Halloween night, that usually doesn't sell out that quickly. It usually takes, a few days, few weeks, whatever. That's how it has been in the past. I can't say that's how it's going to be this year, but I'm just going off past data. So don't worry. I don't think it's going to sell out like a Run.
I agree. Yeah. I think you're going to be fine. You're probably, even though he's looking for the second to last date, which is going to be high demand, but you'll probably have a day. But the one that gives you trouble is Oogie Boogie Bash out at Disneyland. That's a whole
That's
story.
true. That's very different.
That's
very different.
That one crashes the systems.
The one that I would worry about more than that last one now, and this
is the first one for the vloggers.
Is the first one, exactly. I would be more worried about that first night than I would the last night. Yeah, exactly.
Influencers.
Yeah. I won't be at that party. I'm just going to tell you unless like somehow my dates line up, and they probably won't. So
yeah, not me. Okay. Corey says, speaking of Corey, we have a trip planned in September, just 2 days in the parks with hoppers. We aren't planning on going to the party, but would you recommend going to the Magic Kingdom the morning after the party? He says the 2 days fall between party days. Ooh, bookended. What would you guys do? What would you do? Scotty G.
I mean, I like going after a party day because those people at the party are going to be partied out, right?
Yep,
they're not going to want to go back to Magic Kingdom. So I like that strategy a lot, Corey.
Yeah, that's actually what I used to do with evening extra magic hours. Like that was always my strategy. I would go to the park that had evening extra magic hours the night before because I was just trying to like outfox the fox, right? Like a lot of people went to evening extra magic hours because they're cool. So they're not probably going to go back to that same park in the morning because they just left there hours ago. That was what I usually did.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, go in early in the morning the next day. You should be fine. Yeah.
All right. Just like, drive down the middle right there. All right. Amanda's got a question here. Well, it's her second question, which I didn't get to earlier. I finally purchased our theme park tickets for our vacation in June. We're only doing 2 theme park days, one before our cruise and one after. I want to add Memory Maker to my ticket, and I see there are only 2 options. The first is for all of your vacation photos, valid up to 30 days, and a second is a 1-day option. Can I purchase 2 1-day options? The price for 2 1-day options is less than the whole vacation option. I hope this just makes sense, and I appreciate all your help. Sincerely, Amanda. Couldn't you? I mean, can you not buy 2 ones?
I don't see why you couldn't.
I think so.
I don't think there's like any restriction on that. So I think Amanda's all set.
I think so too. Okay, so I got to read this. This one's not a question, but it's something that one of my guests sent me a couple days ago. She just got back from Walt Disney World. And I read it and I couldn't believe it because she sent me this and a picture. And so I just got to read this. So it's from Francesca, one of my great guests over at the Magic for Less. She says, Mike, now that my family and I are home, unpacked, and back to our normal routine, want to reach out and thank you for helping plan our trip that was just wonderful. I'm happy to say that I successfully ran all 3 races at Springtime Surprise and finished with no injuries, not even a blister. That never happens to me, by the way. I always get a blister, cramp, Charlie horse, rained on, something happens. So you already won. She says, it was nice to be able to enjoy the week off with family after that. A few highlights. Weather and crowds were perfect. I guess because Easter had already passed, but there were not a ton of lines or ridiculous waits in any park. No rain either. We really lucked out. I'd stayed at French Quarter last year for Springtime Surprise, but my family had never been and everyone raved about it. It's nice to sometimes move out of your usual favorites and find something new to love. And of course, when we moved over to the Polynesian, it was just pure nostalgia for us since that's where we've stayed at the most. Okay, here's where it gets good. This little paragraph right here. With the generous
that all
gift,
sounded good too.
Well,
Like
no,
great
that
weather,
was. But
Polynesian,
listen to this. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Listen to this. With the generous gift card we received from you, so she got a gift card from the Magic for Less with her package for booking. My kids opted to make their own lightsabers at the gift shop coming out of Star Tours. Don't recall the name. The cute experience. It's a cute experience. This was we don't give
Not the crazy expensive one.
we don't give
Gold
gift cards.
lightsabers
This is the plastic ones, guys. This is not
yeah.
we don't give gift cards to make the $500 lightsabers. Don't get that idea. That's the little plastic guys like I have. I have the plastic one too.
I'm gonna start booking.
No,
more
dude,
trips.
no,
Right?
everybody said, dude,
Exactly.
no, Mike's giving out real lightsabers. No, it's the plastic guys.
I
You
feel
know,
like we're at the tequila tasting.
no,
of
we're
the
talking
fantasy
about
all over
Tatooine.
again.
By the way, this is Tatooine Traders we're talking about,
Okay,
if you
got
don't
it.
know.
Got it.
Okay. It's a cute experience for younger kids to pick out their parts and assemble with help from a cast member. And the best part is they're only $35 each.
There you go. Okay. All right,
There you go. Then we got a big dose of Disney magic happen to us that evening. I had a reservation at Oga's Cantina just to check out the atmosphere since my husband and son are big Star Wars fans. It was fun to experience. My kids enjoyed interacting with the stormtroopers. Anyway, my son went over to a large table full of men with lightsabers and showed them his new lightsaber and said that he was a Jedi. LOL. He likes to talk. And I guess they got a kick out of his enthusiasm. One of the men came up to me and asked if it would be okay for him to gift my son his real lightsaber, as in the one he had just paid $250 to make at Savi's.
What?
I said, no way, he couldn't possibly, but he explained the guys were on a company retreat and that they had all made them for fun, but this particular guy had no kids and wasn't going to do anything with it, so he insisted. We were jaw to the floor shocked. We thanked them profusely and got a great pic of my son getting the lightsaber, which I'm sure we're going to be mounting to the wall. We could not believe the kindness and generosity of my son was over the moon. It's something we will remember forever. So I have this picture. I mean, it's amazing. Like her son is holding this green lightsaber in Oga's. The gentleman, I'm guessing that's it. I'm guessing this is him, like just standing there
I would hope you
grinning in
take
the
a picture with the
background.
guy who gave you the lightsaber.
It is the greatest. Like it is. I mean, it should be a movie poster. Like her son is so happy. The guy is so happy because he's gifted this kid. I mean, this kid could. It should be a movie poster. And like when I read this email, I just said back to Francesca, like these things happen a lot at Walt Disney World because we go there because it's Disney magic, right? In quotes, right? It's where the magic happens. All those slogans. But when guests do things like that for other guests, her son will never, ever, ever forget that the rest of his life. And I hope that gentleman doesn't either, because he made a core memory for a family that will stick for generations. Like, what do you think about that? I loved hearing that.
Everybody talks about, Disney magic with cast members, and, a lot of people will try to finagle a way of getting Disney magic from cast members. You see TikToks on it and, stuff like that. But this right here, this really is the true Disney magic. When just a guest does something for another guest, that to me is Disney magic to the nth degree. Like, somebody doesn't have to do anything. That guy didn't have to give away.
He could have taken it and put it on eBay and got $200.
Exactly. Like, he could have totally made money off that, off of a work retreat thing. Like, that's insane. And it's so wonderful that this kid who was just having the time of his life with this plastic lightsaber, and he was so proud of it and so excited to have it. And, that so much so that he went up to a table of strangers to talk to them about the fact that he had this lightsaber. I mean, that right there really is the epitome of Disney magic. And I hope that that's something that people take away that listen to this podcast. The Disney magic doesn't necessarily have to happen from cast members. They can happen from guests. And if you can bestow Disney magic on somebody in a small way or a big way, please try to do so. That's the best thing that you can do for a family, and truthfully, honestly, yourself. A few years back, I did this. I had been gifted, basically kind of front of the line passes, child swap pass. It was back in the day when you had child swap passes. I had been gifted child swap passes. I think that was what they were at the time. It was when Flight of Passage opened up. And I decided that I was going to bestow this gift to people who were waiting at the end of the line. So I went up to people and was like, look, I have this pass to get on the attraction. You can wait 4 hours for it, or you can come with me now and we can go ride it. And that was truly, honestly, one of the coolest things I was able to do for guests. I had a couple of them. And so I did it like 2 times. And it was just so cool to be able to take a guest who was originally gonna wait 4 hours in line, and now they're gonna get to ride the attraction right now. So if you can do something for another guest like this in any way, shape, or form, please do, because there's just something so special about doing that.
Agreed. It was cool story, and I told Francesca, like, I never get next to that dude. I still want a lightsaber, but
yeah, right.
Someday
you get the $35 lightsaber.
I have the $35 and because I got it autographed by Darth Vader back during Star Wars weekends a long time ago. It's got Darth Vader's autograph.
That's a cool souvenir, not gonna lie.
All right, power question real quick before we close out the show. It's from Brad. Hey, Mike and the gang, we're going to the world this July thanks to Mike's stellar planning. Thank you for that. We're traveling with another family and booked 4 park days. Our last day, we're flying out of MCO at 7 p.m. We're torn about how to spend the better part of that day. Here's our options. He's got 5 options. Get ready. We got to pick one. Add another park day. Hit up Disney Springs. Chill poolside at Caribbean Beach, because they're staying at Caribbean Beach. Go to a water park, or book dining and resort hop. What would you guys do in this scenario? Thanks for all you do, and go Yankees. By the way, Judge got tossed the other day on a terrible call. That's beside the point. So, add another park day, hit up Disney Springs, chill poolside at Caribbean Beach, go to a water park, or book dining and resort hop. I'm going with option 5, book dining and check out some of the other resorts that day. That's kind of fun. That's what I'm going with. Scott, I'm going to take you. What do you got?
Option number 3 all day, baby. Poolside at Caribbean Beach. It doesn't get any better than that out of those options. So number 3 for me.
Ooh, we got 2 votes because Len also threw in a poolside. Len here out in Maryland, who's headed to Disneyland in 4 short weeks. Ricky, you got the final
July,
say.
It's gonna be blazing hot. You should be at the pool.
Well, dude, air conditioned restaurants and just go seek resorts. But okay, yeah, you're right. The pool could be hot though. But okay, Ricky.
I'm gonna throw in a Pam. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna either say do another park day because I'm always up for another park day.
Ooh, dude, it's the end of the trip. You're hot and tired.
It doesn't matter. It's still always up for another park day. Or I'm gonna say do Typhoon Lagoon because I think that would be a really fun way to end the trip. So
do another park day, but if they do the pool day, that's all they're gonna be talking about when they got home. Like, man, we went hard those 4 days in the park, but then we just chilled and relaxed in the pool all day. Oh man,
we actually have vacation for the end of the trip. We actually relax.
We were all that was the best plane ride ever because we were all so relaxed from being in the pool all day.
We weren't just running and going up steps all day at Typhoon Lagoon, climbing up Miss Tilly's. Doing Crushing Gusher.
All the options are really good.
Yeah, they are.
Somebody gets a broken nose on Crushing Gusher because they slam into somebody at the bottom of the Crusher Pineapple Express. I haven't ridden that thing forever, but I love that thing.
Or no. I was gonna throw an alternative, but no, I'm gonna.
Yeah, we're good. We're out of time. We gotta. Okay. All right, so that's going to do it. You have questions, we love them in the inbox. Mike at beourguestpodcast.com. Send those this way. We'll get them on the show next week. Don't forget, we're always talking about questions and answers and all kinds of Disney talk on our Clubhouse. So come on over. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. We'll be looking for you right after the show and all week. Our show is brought to you by The Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure. It's over at themagicforless.com. Just swing by there. Fill out a quote form. We'll take care of you from there for no additional cost to you. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link. Mother's Day. Still time to get that Mother's Day gift. I'm ahead of the game. I've already ordered it, and it is sitting right next to me. Ordered on Amazon. Here in the office, it was delivered today. I'm so proud of myself that I got it done a week in advance. Because there's a story behind it, but I have Paige helping me out, so it's all good. But I did order on Amazon. I used the link, so I'd love it if you do too. So Amazon.com/beourguestpodcast or beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. You got to go to beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon and Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast because that's how you can support the show. Just $5 a month, you'll get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. So come on over and support us this week. Again, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can follow the show and all of us as well on social media at beourguestmike for me, at Ricky Nibs for Ricky, at Epcot for Scott, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and of course Sunday night. Join us for the call-in show. It's the BOGP open line, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We'll be taking your calls, so join us for that. All right, we'll be back again on Friday. And Friday, if you like Walt Disney World resorts, this is going to be the show for you because we're going to be hopping around all the Walt Disney World resorts, talking about things to not miss because you might. We're going to talk about some hidden things to do at each Walt Disney World resort that we pop up. No, we're not going to talk about all 22, but we're going to be talking about if you stay at this resort, don't forget, these are some of the things you got to make sure you take advantage of while you're there. So maybe your resort will pop up on Friday's show. So until we get back together again, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.